I just bought the world's smartest notepad. What's happening, Panda Nation? Peter Von Panda here. I just got this. It's by Royole, and it's the RoWrite 2 pad here. Now, this is a smart writing pad. I am super excited about trying this out. This is actually kind of a traditional pad folio as far as I can tell. There is a real pen and paper in here, and you pair this to your phone, and what makes this really cool is that for a lot of us that want to use a little bit of the old school traditional way of taking notes, writing things down, sketching things out, but yet you want to have that digital copy when you get back to your home or your office, well, you can have that with this. This is like the best of both worlds. So what you write in here will get translated into digital files, which I find just fascinating and isn't as clumsy or awkward or in your face as using like a giant tablet to do it. So first of all, I wanted to open up this box here and just show you what we get, because inside here we get this Royole. It's like a leather pad folio, and man, it looks awesome. It's got this camel khaki color. It just looks great. It feels great in the hand. Again, I'm not sure exactly what the material is made out of, but it feels a lot like the leather iPhone cases that you get from Apple. I mean, it's great, but it's obviously a wonderful material. It looks like it's maybe some sort of synthetic, but it's got a great pebbling texture on the front. You can see these little sealed edges. It's very slim, feels nice in the hand. It's kind of smooth and silky, and it just has a great color. This is absolutely one of my most favorite colors for pad folios. When I'm actually looking for pad folios, this is what I get. And it's nice size. It's pretty big, but it's not totally huge. First of all, 7 inches wide by 9.5 inches tall, so it's really a great size, fits in the hand. You can see that we have RoWrite embossed in the back and Royole on the front here. And then if I open this sucker up, what we have is like a microfiber, almost suede-like feel to the inside of the cover. And then what we have here is the pad of paper that you might expect. It actually is like a book that slides into the spine right here. Now, what's really interesting about this is if you look at the spine, this is where the technology is. So we have kind of this 1/2 inch wide aluminum tube, it looks like, and what we get here is a USB-C port on the bottom and a power and a mode button right here on the top. And so all of that magic is really happening in there. And the other thing that you can see is we have a little indentation here for the stylus. So there is some stuff left in this box. First of all, it looks like we get some additional pads here. Even this book is really nice. It's got like this synthetic cover on it with that pebbling too. So the book is really nice. And then this particular book has little dots on it. So it's not quite graph paper, but it gives you some markings to keep your lines straight when you're using the pad. Now, in here we also get, looks like we get a very long USB to USB-C cord here, so that's going to be pretty big. And then we get this. This actually has a bunch of additional pen tips. So like any other ballpoint pen, you're going to run out of ink, so it's kind of nice that this comes with 5 refills right out of the gate. And then we also have some books here, which I'm probably gonna have to spend a little time with. And then at the very top here, you can see we have the stylus. It comes out just like this. It has a sticker on it, so I can pull that off here. And it's got a little bit of weight, but it feels like a nice pen. It's not overly heavy, which is nice. It's not going to fatigue you. You can see that we have a little silver band right here, and it seems to be painted in white. It's got a beautiful like finish to it. And then it has a little magnetic cap. You can see right there, and then it looks just like your standard ballpoint pen, but because this thing has some electronics on it, and I'm going to take the plastic off here, what we need to do is you need to charge this up. So how do you do that? It doesn't look very obvious. Well, it's my understanding that what you do is you take this and you put it right up here in the slot. I love the fact that it just goes in there. It's magnetic, it holds it in, as you can see, but when it's in there, it will charge. So that is pretty awesome. Now, I am going to go ahead and take the cable and get this whole thing charged up, the pen charged up, and download the RoWrite app. And then we'll come back and I will give you a full tour of my experiences with the RoWrite. Alright guys, I have been playing around with this RoWrite, and I'm just going to tell you right off the bat, I love it. I'm actually kind of blown away by it. I don't entirely understand how it works, but it's pretty awesome. It works just like a pad folio, and what I love about this is everything. It's just so well engineered and unified. So first of all, I want to show you that the pen here, which is metal, does snap into this little trough here, and you can see the 2 little prongs that match up with these 2 lines and those are your charging connectors. And so when you put it in here and it's on, you can see this little light. It'll turn on, it'll glow orange when it's charging, so it will charge right in here. I really like that. Now, one of the things I was thinking about is I take this off to use it, and we've got this ballpoint pen under here, but what I noticed is that the cap does not slide on the end here like a regular pen, and I was like, oh, that's a big miss. I've got this little cap that I might lose. Well, since the pen's magnetic, it just sticks right up there, so it's no problem at all. You won't lose it, and then you can just recap it. So that's pretty clever. I do like that. Now, the other thing I will say here is that this bar in here, as you can see it, is what is doing all of the heavy lifting. So charging port down here, power button right up here, but in here there is a lot of computing power, and it must detect the pen somehow. So when I power this sucker on, it will look for the RoWrite app on my phone, and it will automatically sync, and I can use them together simultaneously. But if you don't have your phone, or if the Bluetooth isn't on, or you don't have the app up and it can't connect, don't fret. This piece, this high-tech spine right here, will do all the work. So it will record everything. You can write multiple pages. You can actually add pages and do all of your note-taking, all of your drawing, all of your memos, all of your sketches, whatever. And then you can go back to the phone and sync them. So I want to show you both the connected way of using this and the non-connected way. And I will say that, first of all, if it's not connected, you don't turn on the RoWrite. You can just come in here and just start drawing some pictures, right? Some pandas if you want, right? Just like that. Woohoo! Like that, right? So, you know, you can just use this as regular paper. You don't have to worry about a digital copy, but there might be all sorts of reasons that you want a digital copy. Let's say I'm taking notes for my team here or something, and I'm sketching something out, and we're working on something, right? And I'm like, okay, here are the 4 quadrants, and we're splitting up the work here and put in notes, right? And now you get back to your desk, and you're like, well, how do I get these notes? I guess I could take a photo and text it to you guys. But if I'm storing all of these as a digital file, then I can just email them out. Or if something happens to this, or I throw away the paper, right? I can create these little notebooks, and so I can do this. And I was doing all sorts of testing here. Test, because I really wanted to understand how this works. So first thing is you can just use it like a notebook. Forget about the technology. It's beautiful. This whole little Padfolio is really nice. But let's say you want to use this as the designers intended. What I want to do here is show you that the first thing you have to do is you have to download this RoWrite app. You do have to create an account. It takes but a second to do that. And then you have this app that will sync via Bluetooth to this device. Now, what you'll notice here is I've created this little default notebook. I don't have anything in there right now. I wanted to reset everything so that I could demo it. And what it is doing here is it's got to connect. Now, I have gone ahead and charged this up. There is a little light right here on the spine that shows you when it's charging and charged, and so it's all charged up. Now here's the power button. So if I hold down this power button, it is going to light up. Alright, so we have the little light that goes on there, and you can see in blue, I think it means it's pairing or in pairing mode. Once it's solid like that, I think it has connected. So now if I go here into the notebook, I can actually create a page just like this. And now what I want to show you is that I have a page right here that will duplicate what's going on right here. So let's say I'm taking some notes. Look at that. What is happening here is happening right there. Now what I've noticed is that there must be some sensors in the spine computer because it is tracking the nib of this pen. You can see the little cursor there showing where it would be tracking if I write. And I'm wondering if the nib gets pressed in and activates the writing. But somehow this does a great job. Of tracking. And it is very, very accurate. And I want to show you something here. So if I were playing a game of tic-tac-toe, very small little grid there. Now, if I'm going back over something I've already drawn, this is where tracking accurately is really important. So if I were to go in here and draw a little circle, look at that. It's lined up, right? It's perfect. And if I go like that and fill that out, right? Go right up here to the edges, fills that out. It's really, really good, really accurate. You get a really accurate representation of what you're writing and what it records. So I'm really, really impressed with that. Now, you might be saying, well, Pete, that's great. You take some meeting notes here. You want to save that, certainly. Now, what you can do here on the digital version as opposed to your analog version is you can go in here and actually use some other tools like erase some stuff. You're like, oh, I don't want to show the doodle that I was doing during that meeting, right? But you can go back here to pen, and maybe you don't want a pen, you want to show a marker here. So here is a marker, right? Now it looks like I wrote that with a marker. It's almost hard to read, you know, because it looks like I wrote it with a marker. So you can absolutely change that. So I'm going to go back to pen here. Back to pen. Look at that. Back to pen, right? So I am writing and syncing right to it. Now, one of the things that I can do here is just stop. I can go ahead and hit this little checkbox, and now I have a page here that I can go back and reference whenever I like. All right, so what I want to show you here now, if I went to hit this plus button and hit another page, what it doesn't know is I haven't turned this page, so I could actually write on this page and it would pick this up as page 2. Now, obviously, I could just flip the page right here and write on this, right? Now, one of the cool things and one of the best things about this is I don't need this phone on to do this. So what I'm going to do here is I'm actually going to close this up, and I'm actually going to turn off my Bluetooth, and that way I have lost the connection. Now I want to show you what happens on the RoWrite. The little blue light here has now turned green, okay? And so what I can do here is I can actually write with it in a disconnected mode, and it will save everything that I've written into the computer here and then allow me to sync it later. So I just want to go ahead and show you that I can do this. Like, I'm going to call this page 3 offline test, and then I'm going to put another panda here. All right, kind of looks like a raccoon. Now, one of the cool things about this is that you can tell it's working because this little green light blinks when it is registering pen input. So what I want to show you here is pen input, and you can see that little green light blinks. So you know it's working when it's doing that. All right, now let's go back, and I'm going to power up my phone here, and I'm going to go ahead and turn Bluetooth back on so we can find it. And I will tell you that it found it, and it said, hey, we found a page that wasn't synced. Do you want to sync it? You bet I want to sync it. And now if I go back into my notebook here, look at this. We've got that page 3 offline test with my panda/raccoon and my pen input test. So you don't have to use this with your phone, right? You can use this almost like an independent tablet. It'll save everything right in here and sync it back. Yes, you can use it live connected to the phone, but what I love about this is something I can take to a meeting, take to a conference, take to a lecture, whatever. Turn it on, use it without connecting to my phone, come back and sync all of these pages. You might be saying, well then Pete, how do I know that if I flip the page here and start a new page? Well, you just tap the button up here, the power button, once, and it will go to a new page. So once I'm done here, then I can just flip the page, hit that power button once more, and it will continue to save new pages inside the computer, which is inside the spline, and then sync it back to my phone. So I tell you what, this RoWrite is awesome. And I think that this is really a game changer for a lot of people that want technology, that want to save all of their notes, right? You know, when I worked in investments, one of the things that I had to do was save all my notes from conferences, from meetings, from presentations, to prove that I was doing my due diligence for work, right? And even though I preferred to take handwritten notes, one of the things that I would have to do is scan those later. So this prevents me from having to go take all these out, scan them later. It allows me to have digital copies as soon as I get back to my iPhone and save those and send them out and share them and even edit them and clean them up a little bit too. If I have chicken scratch or errors or things that are crossed out, right, I can go into the app here and just do the editing here, right? So what I can do is just make them a little bit more palatable for the masses, which is really, really cool. So I tell you what, if you're a student taking notes for a class in college, in high school, whatever, this could be great. If you're someone that goes into a lot of meetings at work, has to take a lot of notes, this is going to be perfect. If you're just someone that wants to carry this with you on the go because you have inspiration, you want to sketch something out, this is perfect. This RoWrite is amazing. And what's best about this thing is this thing absolutely punches above its weight class in price. I would have thought something like this, to be honest, $250, $275. But this thing is just a smidge over $100. You get this awesome pad folio, you get this paper book, you get this awesome digital stylus. I am super impressed with this. I think that you are going to love it, especially if you're someone like me who likes technology but loves to write with a pen on actual paper. Then this is your Graceland. Hey, if you want to pick up this bad boy, I'm going to put a link to it in the description below. Peter Von Panda out.